afternoon. My name is Darby Dickerson, and I'm Dean at UIC John Marshall Law School. On behalf of the University of Illinois Board of Trustees and the faculty, staff, and administration of the University of Illinois at Chicago, I welcome you to the commencement exercises for the first graduating class of UIC John Marshall Law School. Graduation marks a special milestone in a lawyer's career. I want to congratulate all of today's graduating students, and I want to thank all of you who are here today for supporting your loved one throughout their law school journey. We want everyone to enjoy the event without undue distractions today, so please, if you haven't already done so, take a moment to silence your mobile phone or other devices. I'd now like everyone to rise, if you are able, for the national anthem, led by alumnus Christian Ketter. Christian?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for one more minute. I'm Michael Amiridis, I'm the Chancellor of UIC, and before we begin our ceremony, I would like to ask everyone to pay tribute to our student, Ruth George. Ruthie was an honor student in kinesiology with great dreams and aspirations. Her life and the opportunities and contributions she would have made were taken from all of us on November 23rd. Please join us in a moment of silence in memory of Ruth George. Thank you.
Once again, to our graduates and their families, congratulations on this extraordinary accomplishment, and everyone may be seated. I'm also delighted to welcome and congratulate today the Honorable Timothy Evans, Professor Hugh Mundy, and valedictorian Jennifer Vatsovek. We look forward to recognizing your accomplishments in a few moments. But first, I would like to welcome a few special guests from UIC and the University of Illinois system who have joined us to celebrate this afternoon. Dr. Tim Killeen, President of the University of Illinois system. Dr. Michael Amiridis, Chancellor of the University of Illinois at Chicago. And Dr. Susan Poser, Provost and Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs. Dr. Poser is also a member of the UIC John Marshall faculty. It is now my privilege to introduce the 20th President of the University of Illinois, Dr. Tim Killeen. When he took office in 2015, Dr. Colleen brought more than 3 decades of experience as a teacher, researcher, and administrator in public higher education and in top leadership positions with national scientific research agencies. Dr. Colleen is committed to continuing the University of Illinois system's rise as a global leader through academic programs that transform students' lives and pioneering innovation that drives progress and economic growth. Please welcome Dr. Tim Colleen.
Good afternoon. It is my honor and distinct pleasure to congratulate you, the class of 2019, and to thank everybody who's been involved in creating this historic merger of the John Marshall Law School and the University of Illinois system. I don't have to tell you that this is a big day, a really big day, perhaps the biggest yet, and one of a handful to come in your lives that will stick in your memory forever. And on top of your degrees, you're also cementing a legacy, a new one today, the first ever graduates from the UIC John Marshall Law School. Please join me. So be proud, live it up, wear out the cameras on your cell phones, if that's possible, of course, it shows my age. Then tweet and post the happy pictures of you, your family and friends for everybody to see and see again. You've earned every hug, handshake, high five and fist bump, and perhaps even blues night in Chicago. Savor everything, and I hope you land more, you're not too old, than a few of those cards with cash in them as well. This is also a really big day for us. For those here who have helped you, have had the privilege of helping you guide your educational journey. Commencements are the biggest days of the year, celebrations that reflect the very core of what the University of Illinois system is all about, and you now belong to that system. As you know, the system, the University of Illinois, is many, many remarkable things. A massive enterprise with best-in-class universities here in Chicago, in Urbana-Champaign and in Springfield that together pump $17.5 billion into our state's economy every year. So we're big, so don't let anybody push you around. And we spread our impact literally around the world through world-class education, groundbreaking scholarship, research discovery, and innovation. But boiled down to the very basics of our mission, it's all about you, our students and our graduates. You've been at the center of our mission all the way back to our system's founding more than a century and a half ago. We were created to open our doors wide to every deserving student, not just the privileged few, to every deserving student, providing an education that would transform their lives one by one and collectively send off new waves of talent each year to lift the fortunes of our state, the families in it, our nation, and the world. And it's an enormous responsibility we feel, and one that our universities have filled with such distinction that the U of I system has cemented a place as one of the world's most accomplished and respected educators. That global respect is rooted in values foreshadowed more than a century ago by our fourth president, Edmund James, who guided an era of explosive growth that helped make us and you and all of us together the powerhouse we are today. In 1904, as his presidency began, he had this to say about what was then a fledgling single-campus university in the prairie. He said, "Great things are waiting if we only measure up to our opportunities, if we only perform faithfully and simply the duties which the state thrusts upon us." Faithfully and simply. I doubt, though, that even he could imagine the heights we would reach 115 years later, from the record 89,000 students enrolled this fall to the place as one of the world's top 25 innovative university systems. But we can rise even higher to a place as the gold standard for higher education in this century, the gold standard for higher education in this century, if we continue stretching towards our ambitious goals faithfully and simply, and with excellence and integrity painted through everything we do. Integrity defines us. It's our touchstone in everything, in our classrooms, in our laboratories, on the sports fields. And the textbook definition of integrity relates about honesty and strong moral character. Those things are certainly at the heart of our values, but they actually run deeper. We are also forthright, hardworking, and transparent. We're grounded. We never cut corners, and we always share credit. We're dedicated, loyal and focused squarely and relentlessly on the public good. We're thoughtful, respectful, and determined to make people proud, even when no one is watching. So we take the high road, always the high road. And there will be times where beguiling and appealing low roads may be laid out in front of you, and you will not take them because of who you are and now that you are part of this amazing institution called the UIC John Marshall Law School. These are the bedrock Midwestern values that don't go unnoticed. Coupled with our rich legacy of excellence, they have added to our allure as the go-to destination for the best and brightest students, and for research discovery that will solve society's most pressing challenges. And we need those solutions. Better yet, those defining values will also radiate for decades to come through the lessons that each and every one of you carries into the world. With more now than 22,000 fellow graduates every year who join our network of 750,000 alumni, the size of the city of Seattle, you're blowing strong, fresh winds of reason into the air of divisiveness and negativity that sometimes, often, seems to pervade our nation in these turbulent times. So enjoy today's celebration. Please come back often to tell us about your next big achievements in your careers and in your communities. And be sure to thank the parents, families, and friends who supported you along the way, because their contributions to your success are immeasurable, and they should share profoundly the pride and credit on this special day. My heartfelt congratulations again to the class of 2019 of the UIC John Marshall Law School.
Thank you, President Killeen. Under the leadership of Chancellor Michael Amarides, UIC has experienced record enrollments for 5 consecutive years, and the university is undergoing the most ambitious construction and renovation program in decades. Chancellor Amarides has strengthened the university's relationship with the city of Chicago and brought even greater national and international visibility to UIC. A chemical engineer, for which we forgive him, he's a law graduate today. He is a member of the board of Chicago's Council for Global Affairs and the national governing boards of the Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities and the Coalition of Urban Serving Universities. On a personal note, I want to thank him for all that he did to bring together John Marshall and UIC. Thank you for being here, and welcome to the podium.
Thank you, Dean Dickerson. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the fall commencement ceremonies of UIC. It's in the plural because this is the third one that we have this weekend. We have created a tradition here at UIC during our commencements to encourage our guests to demonstrate their pride and support for our graduates. This is not the time for polite clapping when it comes to the graduates, but unfortunately, this is all that we have gotten this afternoon from you. So our expectation, my expectation, is that family and friends will demonstrate intense emotions and make a lot of noise, even in a law school graduation. And I hate to bring this up to you, but so far you are not meeting expectations. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to redeem yourselves. So let's try this one more time as I say, congratulations, class of 2019. Right, you see? They're awake and they're alive. That's good. We got it. So family members of our graduates, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, sons and daughters, grandmothers, grandfathers, spouses, in-laws, partners, aunts, uncles, nieces, friends, neighbors, and anyone else who has helped pay the bills, and pay the tuition. Thank you for being here today. And thank you for everything you have done to support our graduates. And by the way, you're not done yet. They will still need your love and support, but they may be off the payroll pretty soon. Graduates, please join me in thanking your family and your friends. Also, please join me in thanking your professors, your mentors and your advisors, the people that they may have asked a lot from you. They stretched you, and that's their job. They made sure also that you meet their expectations. And also thank the John Marshall staff members who worked hard to make sure your experience was the best that it could be. So thank you, faculty members. Thank you, the staff of the college. And also, remember to congratulate the person sitting next to you or behind you, because you all reached this day together. Congratulate your classmates and your study group partners, and remember all the ways in which you may have helped each other, working together, hopefully not during the exams, and bringing this lesson to your new work environment. Please remember, when you go into a new place, that it's much easier and much more enjoyable to taste success with a team rather than doing it alone. This is a special class for the UIC John Marshall School. It's the first one that is receiving a UIC degree. When you started 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, you had no clue that this was going to be the case. Neither did we, by the way, at that time. But we are so excited that this has happened. And I'm personally very excited about it because I was involved with it. Sometimes I was the only non-lawyer in a large room, and that's a very scary feeling, a very scary place to be. But it's wonderful that this union took place. And I want to thank two individuals, actually, who did a lot of heavy lifting during this process, that they are sitting at the platform. Dean Dickerson from the John Marshall School of Law, and Provost Susan Posset from UIC. So thank you both for everything that you have done. And I'm excited about this new union, this arrangement, because I strongly believe that this is for the benefit of the students and the graduates of the school. UIC is a great university, a university that, according to the Wall Street Journal, is ranked in the top 25 public universities in the country. And when you walk out of here this afternoon, you will have a valuable degree, but also you will have a unique UIC marker on that degree that goes beyond rankings. And I'm confident that this combination will empower you to stand above the crowd. UIC and its students are Chicago, and Chicago is UIC, and everybody knows this. Chicago has informed every aspect of your lives and of your experience. You have spent your law school years in one of the world's greatest cities. You have been exposed to art, architecture, music, food, science, political action, and to an urban environment with all of its beauty and all of its problems that is unmatched in the world. UIC and its students are also recognized nationally as one of the most engaged academic communities in the nation. Our students vote more, our students volunteer more, they join cultural and community organizations more, and they make their voices heard more. And I know this is the case also for John Marshall. That also sets you apart from others. The unique marker that I was talking about is the sum of all of the above. But in addition to this, Marshall and UIC offer one of the most diverse university communities in the world. And you have probably met someone from every continent on the planet. In your time here, you have been exposed to individuals from different cultures and nations, individuals from different religions and traditions than most people will meet in a lifetime. At Marshall and at UIC, we tear down walls and we build bridges among people when we need them the most. So when you leave today, remember that the UIC John Marshall Law School and Chicago have empowered you with not only an academic degree, but also a spirit of civic engagement, a spirit of respect for diversity and inclusion. And we expect you to measure your success by your impact on others. This is the UIC legacy, this is the Marshall legacy, and this is the Chicago legacy you will carry with your degree. On behalf of the University of Illinois at Chicago, I promise you that we will always be your university and we will continue to support you. Like you, we will continue to grow in strength and reputation, enhancing in the process the value of your degrees. We will make you proud, just the same way that you make us and your families proud today. The greatness of a university is the sum of its alumni, and you are about to be part of this equation. So go out and tell the world about what you have accomplished here, because now you are our greatest ambassadors. Congratulations, class of 2019, and Godspeed.
Thank you, Chancellor. At this time, it is my honor to introduce our commencement speaker, Chief Judge Timothy Evans. Judge Evans is Chief Judge of the Circuit Court of Cook County, which is one of the largest court systems in the United States. Chief Judge Evans is an extraordinary example of excellence in the legal profession. His dedication to the field of law sets an exceptional example that few can attain. He is a 1965 graduate of the University of Illinois, and he received his law degree from the John Marshall Law School in 1969. His leadership, dedication, and service to the school, to the judiciary, and to our greater community are an inspiration to our graduates, and indeed all gathered here. I would now like to invite Judge Evans to the podium to address the graduates, their family, and friends.
President Keelan, Chancellor Emeritus, Provost Posner, Dean Darby Dickerson, members of the Board of Trustees, faculty, family, friends of this great school, and of course the graduating class of 2019. This is indeed the first graduating class of UIC John Marshall Law School, and I am truly honored to be with you on this occasion. This JD class is a great one and is obviously full of talented legal scholars led by the valedictorian Jennifer Angelika Vatsvavic. Yeah, we got that right. And totally dedicated already to the causes designed to lift the human spirit. One of the first things I noticed about this class was that its members were dedicated to excellence and diversity, as is reflected by the vast number of humanitarian organizations that they belong to. Organizations designed to help others. Organizations like the Disability Organization, the Polish American Law Student Association, the Black Law Student Association, the Real Estate Law Student Group, the Corporate Law Association, the Phi Delta Phi Fraternity, which is the legal honor society committed to the goal of promoting higher standards of professional ethics. Some of these organizations allow students to explore their own personal passions, like the Video Game Law Society, indicating to me that they already know that life has to be balanced between serious legal pursuits and activities designed merely for relaxation. Don't worry, even though I graduated from law school exactly 50 years ago this year, I can still remember a few places around the school that featured libations designed to help you balance the academic life with fun. In fact, I observed recently that surrounding the school on Plymouth Court and State Street, they still feature happy hours to keep some interested in that balanced life that I talked a little bit about. But I'm not worried, because it is clear to me that this class does have its priorities straight. Its members have done their homework and passed their exams. They have worked hard and achieved much, and many of its members have even gone the extra mile in order to overcome great adversities to be here today. All of them have clearly earned the right to graduate today and receive their degrees. Please join me as we salute the graduating class of 2019 as they stand to receive your congratulations. All right, you may be seated. I still have some things to talk to you about. Of course, you did not get to this point by yourselves, and you owe a debt of gratitude, as the Chancellor has already indicated, to those who helped you to get here today. Your teachers, your parents, your grandparents, your spouses, your significant others, relatives, and friends have all helped to make this day possible. So now I'm going to ask you to join me in extending a round of applause for all those who helped you to get here today. Let's give them all a great round of applause. Well, this is a crucial time for each one of you today. You all have those new skills, and you know deep down in your hearts that whatever else you do, you're supposed to use those skills to be courageous, persistent as you pursue your destiny. And even when the going gets tough, you know by now that you ought to persevere and to be resilient. You know that our nation is confronted by many difficult issues and is in desperate need of each one of your skills. The question is, how best can you be of service? I know that feeling well. There once was a time when I faced a similar dilemma, and I almost missed my chance to be a lawyer. I started out to become a doctor, and I was pursuing a pre-med education down at the University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana, Mr. President. And while I pursued that field in the 1960s, I noticed that the professional people leading the way in our country were lawyers, not doctors. Lawyers like Thurgood Marshall were creating the foundation for a modern civil rights movement. They were appearing regularly in courts across the land, establishing fairness and due process for those who needed it, and helping the country to embrace the concept of justice for all. The successes of Thurgood Marshall, breaking down barriers, led me to the law rather than medicine. I almost missed the clarion call for excellence in the law. When I got to law school, I was exposed to the work and the capability of great law professors, just as you have been. I too, like you, was taught the value of being courageous and persistent. I too was taught that as I pursued my destiny, the times would be tough, but that nevertheless I was to persevere and be resilient. One of my instructors here was a true profile in courage. He was sophisticated and brilliant, and he shared his expertise with us and told us of the cases that he had handled in his practice of law. We were inspired by him, and we could not wait to practice law as he had done. One incident, though, in his life further exemplified the great courage that he had. But he did not share that with me until long after my graduation. Over the years, he and I stayed in contact with each other, and we saw each other often socially. And after one of those social events, he told me that he was considering writing about some of his experiences, and he wanted to know, since I was chief judge of the Circuit Court of Cook County by that time, if I could help him find an old court file that had belonged to him. And he wanted to get a copy of one of the court documents out of that file. And I assured him that I would try to find the file, and I asked him the name of the case and what that case was about. He said that the case was about when he got indicted. Of course, I was stunned and not sure I'd heard him correctly. After all, this was one of my favorite professors, and I could not imagine him ever being indicted. He repeated what he said. He had indeed been indicted. I asked if I could locate that file. Would he look in that file and find something interesting? He said, of course, he would. I looked in that file, and I saw that the file did reflect his indictment, because he had advised a minority couple that the real estate contract that they had, that was to purchase a new home, was in fact a legal contract, and that they had every right to move into their new home. His clients did move into the home that was located here in Cook County, and the neighbors objected to their occupancy. The neighbors rioted. They started a fire, and they attempted to force them to move out of their home. Instead of the rioters being arrested, the police arrested my professor, and they charged him with inciting a riot based on his advice to his clients that they had every right to move into their new home. When I looked further into that court file jacket, I saw why my professors wanted to get a copy of a document in that file. The pleadings there were signed by the great Thurgood Marshall, the same Thurgood Marshall that I told you about that helped me to change my career path. Needless to say, my professor, with the help of Thurgood Marshall, got the indictment thrown out. I assure you that over time, my professor faced many threats as he specialized in civil rights as a lawyer, as he faced many challenges in a judicial career that included terms as a Cook County judge, an appellate court justice, and as a federal district court judge. He exemplified not only courage, but also persistence, perseverance, and resilience in order to succeed. And succeed he did. By the way, my professor's name was George Layton. In the courthouse where he was once indicted and prosecuted at 26 in California, in our city, is now named after him. It is the George N. Layton Criminal Court Building. And of course, Thurgood Marshall became the first African American to sit on the highest court in the land, the United States Supreme Court. They both exhibited the kind of courage, perseverance, persistence, and resilience that you must in order to reach your destiny. Maybe the inspiration that will come to you will have been presented by one of your dynamic professors. This school is full of them. You see them sitting down there. Like George Layton, they stand up for what is right, even if not everybody understands their quest. I know of two such professors, Michael Singh and Sheila Murphy. They specialize in teaching restorative justice practices that are helping me as chief judge establish 2 new restorative justice community courts in the city of Chicago. In restorative justice court, we don't send nonviolent perpetrators to jail for their crimes. In these courts, healing is the key, not punishment. In these courts, the victims of crime, the perpetrators of crime, and the communities where the crimes occur are all restored. The victims receive reimbursement for any loss they suffered. The perpetrators have the problems that caused their actions addressed. And the communities where the act took place are made whole. Now, not everybody understands restorative justice court, and it takes great courage for these professors to pursue their work in this field. In fact, it always takes courage to change the way the law has worked in the past. These 2 professors are doing that, and the students they teach are the better for it. I hope these cited examples from this great school will inspire you as you graduate from here and help you to contend successfully with the issues that you must face. You too will need the courage, the perseverance, the persistence, the resilience that I have spoken of. You have prepared well, you have what it takes to succeed, and you are exactly where you are supposed to be. Your destiny awaits. Don't worry, you will succeed. So be good, do well, and may God bless each one of you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge Evans, for joining us today and for your inspirational remarks. At this time, it is my pleasure to invite Ms. Treyana Burris to the podium to present the Lex Award on behalf of the graduating class.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Dean Dickerson. The Lex Ancilla Justite Award was developed by the students of John Marshall to recognize the professor whose work in and out of the classroom truly embodies the mission of the law school. Lex Ancilla Justite is a phrase our graduates are familiar with. Friends and family, this phrase, taken from the seal of the law school, translates to, law is the servant of justice. In that spirit, the Lex Ancilla Justite Award is given by way of vote to the faculty member who the graduating class believes, through their teaching in time with students, best embodies this guiding principle of education at the UIC John Marshall Law School. The faculty member with the most votes is recognized as the recipient of the Lex Ancilla Justite Award. The runners-up are selected to present the hoods to the graduates during the ceremony. It is my privilege, on behalf of the graduating class, to recognize and congratulate Professors Arthur Acevedo, Karen Cross, and Hugh Mundy. Congratulations to you all. Thank you for all you have done for our class. And let me invite Professor Hugh Mundy to come forward and receive the 2019 Lex Ancilla Justite Award from the December graduating class.
Thank you, Triana, and Dean Amaritas, Provost Posner, Dean Dickerson, Judge Evans, Kimberly. Thank you all and good afternoon. I'm honored to join all of you today as the winner of the Lex Award. While earning a law degree is a wonderful accomplishment under any circumstances, I'm especially delighted to celebrate with our December graduating class today because so many of you took the road less traveled through law school as so-called non-traditional students. Many of you worked during law school full-time, balanced family responsibilities, attended classes during the evening and throughout the summer, and spent several years in pursuit of your degree. I see Randy, I think you started in 1998, 1999, somewhere around there, yeah. When I look out into the audience and I see law school graduates, but I also see teachers, accountants, police officers, paralegals, we have an accountant back here, medical professionals, just to name a few. With those professional challenges and personal sacrifices in mind, the accomplishments that we celebrate this afternoon are particularly noteworthy, impressive, and gratifying. Of course, in light of the special challenges you faced during law school, the support, love, and patience of your family members and friends was absolutely essential throughout your journey. So I also want to extend my appreciation and congratulations to everyone in the audience today in honoring our graduates. While it's difficult to be a law student, it's perhaps even more difficult to live with one, as many of you well know. So to our graduates, I encourage all of you to take a few moments from the busyness of your daily lives, gather with your family and friends, and savor this truly outstanding achievement, at least until you have to begin preparation for the bar exam in roughly 2 hours. So enjoy the time. Thank you again. Best of luck as you move forward in your career. I really appreciate this. Thank you.
Congratulations, Professor Mundy. This afternoon, the valedictory address will be given by Jennifer Angelica Vatswavic. While at UIC John Marshall, Jennifer served as a research assistant for Professors Paul Lewis and Ronald Domsky. She served as a member of the UIC John Marshall Law Review, where she is currently publishing her Law Review comment. She is also the recipient of the John N. Jewett Scholarship and the Arba M. Wetterman Scholarship. Jennifer, congratulations and welcome to the podium.
Good afternoon. Words cannot express how grateful and honored I am to have the opportunity to be here today. We all have a list of people who we would like to thank, including our family, our classmates, the faculty, our friends, and community members. All the people that are here today remind us that during our time in law school, we were surrounded by people who could not wait for us to succeed. At times, the people closest to us felt as though they were attending law school with us, but they never stopped listening. Even though we have learned an immense amount during our time in law school, we must also listen. The John Marshall Law School was founded in 1899 and has continuously upheld its tradition of diversity, innovation, and opportunity. Chicago's practice-ready law school is what I think about when I hear John Marshall. We all graciously accepted our offers to attend John Marshall, and we were eager to pursue our aspirations. Some of us aspire to be trial lawyers, while others of us intentionally stayed away from anything trial-related. Some of us want to practice transactional law, while others of us want to become judges. Despite our differences, John Marshall brought us together because of our willingness to do whatever it takes to achieve excellence. We have all conquered and surpassed what at first seemed like inconceivable and impossible expectations. We frantically transcribed class notes that ended up having more questions than answers. We created outlines to study from, often exceeding 50 pages. We endured 3-hour exams that went by so quickly we were surprised when time was called. And we wrote papers for some of our classes or for one of the law school's journals. We learned to answer questions with the phrase, "It depends," and while some professors laughed, others challenged us to elaborate. Our professors taught us the true meaning of practicing law, drawing on their experiences from practice, years of teaching, and listening to others. Every semester, our professors helped us understand the meaning of the thousands of words printed in our stack of books that weighed over 50 pounds. John Marshall has introduced us to areas of the law that we never knew existed. We also learned that the law is not always black and white. It's shades of gray, and it is up to us to determine how we will use the gray areas of the law to achieve justice. We owe each other an abundance of thanks and gratitude. John Marshall brought us together, but it was our classmates and family members who brought us back to reality when we were overconsumed by our never-ending outlines or impossible exam schedules. We all heard the law school horror stories, but John Marshall encouraged collaboration. And collaboration was achieved through the expert learning program and through the students who served as teachers' assistants. It was also achieved through the students who helped prepare us for our oral arguments at the Dirksen Federal Courthouse. While we officially graduate today, we will forever have our time at John Marshall to draw on as the future becomes reality. I hope that as we venture out and figure out what comes next, we never forget our collaborative efforts. Rather than trying to do everything on our own, we can call on each other. The first John Marshall graduate I met was during my morning commute to work on the Metro train, and he graciously answered my questions and told me about his time at John Marshall, along with a gentle warning about the immense amount of reading and the law school struggles that we have all conquered today. I hope that just as that John Marshall graduate took the time to share his knowledge with me, we as John Marshall graduates will do the same. The opportunity that John Marshall bestowed on us is unfathomable, and it allowed us to challenge ourselves to achieve excellence. We all know that there were no shortcuts in law school. Instead, we put in the time, we asked for help, and we collaborated. John Marshall reminds us that we can pursue any opportunities that arise, even the opportunities that are so foreign to us that in the past we may have never considered them. For many of us, we used to perceive law school in that same way, but John Marshall believed in us and accepted us. And as we venture out beyond law school, I hope that we continue to collaborate and achieve excellence together. I'm honored and excited to be graduating with the UIC John Marshall Law School's class of 2019, and I'm eager to see where our hard work and dedication takes us in the next few years and beyond. Congratulations.
Congratulations again, Jennifer. Thank you for those remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, listed in your program are those graduates who, through their academic achievements, are graduating with the distinction of summa, magna, cum laude, or with honors, so represented by the cords they are wearing. Will all graduates whose names are so designated as graduating with these honors please rise so that we may, with our applause, recognize your outstanding academic achievements. We also have graduates who are owed our gratitude for serving our country. The graduates who are veterans of our military wear a red, white, and blue cord. Will all the graduates who are veterans of the United States military please stand so that we may thank you for your service to our country. Now we come to the conferral of the degrees. Dr. Jennifer Pope, Assistant Dean for Student Life and Leadership, and Shantae Span, Assistant Dean for Admissions, will then announce the names of candidates for the degrees of Juris Doctor, Master of Jurisprudence, and Master of Laws. I will present the diplomas. The academic hood, worn as part of the formal academic regalia, signifies the degree the recipient holds, as well as the degree-granting institution. The master's hood is 3.5 feet long, and the doctor's hood is 4 feet long. At the University of Illinois at Chicago, the lining of the hood is flame and indigo. For doctoral students and for master's students, the velvet trim at the edge of the hood denotes the law. The hooding of the graduates represents the milestone we celebrate today. Selected by the students in the graduating class, I would like to ask Professors Art Acevedo and Karen Cross to take their places at the platform to my left. They are the hooding professors that you selected. President Colleen, will you come to the podium to confer the degrees? And let's give a round of applause to Professors Acevedo and Cross. Graduates and loved ones, this is the moment that you have been waiting for. Upon the recommendation of the faculty and the vote of the Senate, I have the honor to present the candidates for Juris Doctor, Master of Jurisprudence, and Master of Laws. Will you please stand? President Colleen.
Thank you, Dean Dickerson. Upon these recommendations, and by the authority vested in me by the University of Illinois Board of Trustees, I confer upon each of you the degrees of Juris Doctor, Master of Jurisprudence, and of Master of Laws for which you have been presented, and admit you to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of those degrees. Congratulations.
Atta Mohammed Alarash. Paul Appleton. Presenting Paul's diploma today is his brother, August Appleton, a 2011 graduate of the John Marshall Law School. Kayla S. Bowley Williams. Treyana J. Burris. But Sadie Cannon. Gabriella Coronado.
Svetlana Iwanashin Ugrina. Gabrielle Lynn Jackson. Rami Khalife. Kenyatta T. Land. Claire Casey Luxinger. Presenting Claire's diploma today are her mother, Sarah Porter, her father, Jay Luxinger, both graduates of the John Marshall Law School. Allison Itzel Martinez. Jacqueline L. McAllister. Carrie Makushka, cum laude. Renlyn Pan.
Sławek, summa cum laude. Garrett William Vanderploeg. Ogilvy Zavala. In addition, we have students receiving their Master of Jurisprudence and Master of Laws. We are pleased to recognize them at this time. Dr. Ashira Johnson with honors. Brett Michael Clark with honors. Agnes A. Putashnik with honors. Nuvai Kathy. Our heartfelt congratulations to the members of this December 29 graduating class. Graduates, we have one final assignment for you. Please move your tassel from right to left to signify your new status. And congratulations, class of 2019.
Graduates, we are so proud of you and everything you have accomplished. We are your home. Please let us know how you do, both professionally and personally. We are rooting for you and know that you are going to achieve amazing things. Graduates, I'm going to ask you to stand now and face the audience. You've thanked these people a couple of times, but one more round of applause for your loved ones. And now if you'll turn and face the faculty. Faculty, please stand and take a bow. This is the product of so much of your time, effort, and hard work. Everyone, please join me in thanking the John Marshall Law School faculty. As we conclude these commencement exercises, I ask that the audience remain seated for the duration of the recessional led by President Killeen. Thank you all again for being here and celebrating this wonderful event with us today. And one more time, congratulations, graduates.